I'll start.
Okay, record. It is recording, so if anyone has any issues with the recording, now would be the time to drop off or whatever. So it is being recorded.
Okay. So welcome everybody to our second virtual happy hour reunion. I'm Shelley Gallagher. This is what I looked like in high school.
A hottie.
Yeah. I've changed a little bit. I'm the chairperson for our 50th, now 50th plus one reunion, which hopefully you guys all know is this September, and we'll talk more about that later. But right now, I wanted to welcome everybody, but hopefully all the newcomers have been able to at least partially watch the video, because those of us that were together last time will not be introducing ourselves again. Just the new people will be speaking. And hopefully some of you saw that the Washington Post did mention us in an article that we had a virtual Zoom meeting. It was a little short, but it was still a mention. And if you brought a beverage or libation of choice, you may raise it now, and we'll toast to ourselves, our 69th year, and toast to those that are not able to join us and some that we've lost. And cheers.
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 And let's see, hopefully you're all in a safe, quiet place, like Bruce said, because it can get noisy. And I wore my green beads, and even, hold on, I have a St. Patrick's Day because it's almost St. Patrick's Day. So these are my St. Patrick's Day beads, not WJ beads. So I want to introduce Bruce Klitzman. He is our Zoom host, and he already went over a few logistics, but he may have more logistics and procedures to go over to make our Zoom run a little more smoothly.
So one of the things we may do at some point is go into breakout rooms so that we have a smaller group that we can have a more intimate conversation with. And if so, I can do that automatically, and a little prompt will show up on your screen, a blue thing that says join this breakout room. So you just need to click join. And that's it.
Okay. So if you are a newcomer, when you go to speak, I know some of you brought pictures, paraphernalia, some of you have your green on. You can hold up whatever you have. That would be cool. And remember, we're looking for memorabilia for our in-person reunion to place, outside for decorations. So with that being said, I will now introduce our MCs, because as you know, some of our classmates got married, and one of our married couples were coerced a little bit. Not really, they pretty much offered to be our MCs, and they are going to do a little orientation for us. And with that, I turn it over to Frank and Cheryl Hughes.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, hello everyone. We were glad to be asked, to be honest with you, we were glad to be asked to be the MCs. And despite some of the difficulties with the first one, based on our plan versus what we actually did, they asked us to do it again. So I'm not really sure why, but they made it very clear that we got to keep this thing moving. So we're going to do bios. We're going to give you about a minute if you're new. And you have to bear with me because this participant list changes every time somebody talks. So while you guys have been talking, I've been writing down names of people that I know did not participate in October. But that doesn't mean I haven't missed somebody. So if we get down near the end, you might raise your hand or something like that, and I'll make sure you get included. Cheryl's going to give you a little tip on a sample bio. So why don't you go ahead, Cheryl?
Well, so we want to keep it to 1 minute. We have a timer for you, and at 50 seconds, there will be a noise. The old cow will meow, and at 60 seconds, we'll ring the bell so that we can keep it going. That was one of the issues that we had last time. So keep your bio pretty simple. I'll start off by doing ours. I'm Cheryl Carl Hughes, and I married Frank Hughes back in, gosh, we've been married for almost 43 years now. And I went to school in Colorado, and we stayed together through all this time. He was at Edwards Air Force Base. We have 2 children, 2 boys. We run a natural food store in Lancaster, California, which is the southern desert where the space shuttle used to land when it didn't go back to Florida. And we have had a great time doing this. It's a lot of fun to see all these old faces and new faces and reconnect with people that we haven't done for in a while. So we look forward to today.
Okay, so there you go. Now you have a template. And one of the keys to today is to get to the breakout rooms, because the whole point is that in groups of, say, 5 or 6 or thereabouts, and Bruce is the master of, he's going to separate us, and it's kind of a random thing. You'll have an opportunity to have some more intimate conversations about your recollections. One of the things I know I personally learned from the October session was I remembered a lot of faces. I didn't remember everybody's name. Once I heard them, I remembered that. And then it turns out we had all kinds of interesting neighborhood connections. I grew up in the Ashburton neighborhood, went to St. James. I have some people on this call today that I went to kindergarten with, but I knew a lot of people from Wildwood Manor and so forth. So you'll find a lot of connections, I think, when you get into the breakout rooms, and that's what we want to make sure we get done today. Okay, so again, I've been making a list of those. I'm going to start calling your names. I'm going to, just for the sake of the new people, I'm going to repeat the jokes I made for this. Julie Maudlin did this for us. So this is the Moo Machine. And it doesn't really sound like a cow, so I called it Fake Moos. And this is the official. I told Julie, I said I wanted an official, authentic Walter Johnson 1970 cowbell, and she certified to its authenticity.
Perfect.
Right, via Amazon. Okay, all right. So much for that. Okay, let's start. Here's an old buddy from swimming back in the day, Curtis Ingham. So why don't you start, Curtis?
Well, hi there, especially to the people that I went to Wingate, North Bethesda, and Walter Johnson all together. And looks like everybody turned out just great. So I live in Colorado Springs, about 30 minutes south of Colorado Springs itself. When I got out of high school, I bought a hippie van and then traveled all around the country. Just couldn't seem to avoid getting thrown in jail. So then I went back to Bethesda and enjoyed that. And then when I did that, my parents moved out to Colorado Springs here, and they were trying to get away from me, I think. And
Did they tell you they moved?
Huh?
Did they tell you they moved?
No, but I went to their house and they had all kinds of price tags on everything.
Your warning.
Okay. I live in Colorado Springs, and I have a motorcycle shop that, oddly enough, today is not only Herb Pearson's birthday, but it's my anniversary, 44 years running this shop, and we sell parts, accessories, and motorcycles.
Congratulations.
That's great.
I'm married, no kids, lots of dogs, lots of cats. So living on 2.5 acres. So
So we
that's
can
me.
all come visit.
Absolutely. Bring your campers. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Curtis. Next I had on the list here is Bobby Poe.
Well, here we go. I moved to Bethesda in 4th grade, went to Ashburton. Then I went to North Bethesda. I knew Curtis from there, certainly, and WJ. Went to University of Maryland a couple years, didn't graduate. Worked for the Montgomery County Library System, starting, I think, in junior high as a page. I know used to be funny. Oh, I'm a library page. But then I worked for the library part-time, then full-time in the 70s. Into the 70s, I joined my father's business. He put out a music magazine that went to radio stations and record company people. And that was 1979. And until he retired in 1996. Oops.
That's your warning. It's a warning. Wrap it up.
There's a picture of me and Ross Mitchell who lived behind me. And basically all I did was party all the time until I got old. So there we go.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. All right. Now, Christy.
Hi. When I left Walter Johnson, I graduated from University of Virginia and got my master's there in speech pathology, first class.
Go Who's.
And yeah, wahoo. So I started a speech and language program in a very rural central Virginia county, Louisa County, and serviced 10 schools. And then I came back in 1978 and married my high school sweetheart, who was class of 71. He was known as Butch Swiger. He goes by RV now, but I still call him Butch. And I became a speech pathologist for Montgomery County Schools, and I worked there for 36 years. We have 2 children. My son works at Walt Whitman High School, and he's the IT specialist there. My daughter is Whitney Swiger. She now lives in Flintstone as a special education facilitator. I was a pom coach for Gaithersburg High School for 10 years and retired to the beach. So I live in Millsboro, just outside of Rehoboth. And we are 200 yards from our boat to go fishing and crabbing, which we do a lot of.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
So hold on, I have a question. Are you Christy Mizell? What was your
Mizell.
how do you say it?
Mizell.
Mizell. See, I got that.
Mizell.
You didn't say that. And also, your son is an IT specialist.
At Walt Whitman High School.
Okay, we may be calling on him.
Well,
We may be-
Okay. Hey, boss lady, we got to keep moving.
Okay, Frank.
Okay, neighborhood buddy of mine, Mike Jablonski. Michael,
Yeah,
where are you?
thank you. My name is Mike Jablonski. I've been in northern Utah since 1977. It seems I have a few things in common with Curtis. Like him, I'm not married, a bunch of dogs, some cats. He went out in his hippie van after high school. After college, I went out and ski bum for 3 years in Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming. Moved out here to ski. I still ski. I was in the ski club back in Walter Johnson. I was the vice president of it in our senior year. I've skied all over the West, British Columbia, times too numerous to count. The last time I went skiing was yesterday. The next time I'm going to go skiing is Tuesday. I live the outdoor life. I've been married, no children, to a woman named Cindy Johnson. She's from Colorado. She studied range ecology at Utah State University, where I studied forestry and computer science. That's where we met. We've been running an environmental consulting firm for 20 years, 20 plus years. We have done some outdoor projects in all over the 11 Western states. That's it.
Okay, Michael, good
Great,
job.
Mike.
All right, Priscilla. You're muted, Priscilla. You're muted.
Okay, now I'm not, right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Priscilla Plum, and yes, you can, I will take all your pity for growing through life with that last name. Yes. And I've changed it a couple times, and I've done a lot of traveling. I went to school right out of high school to University of Maryland, where I got a degree in textiles and fashion merchandising and managed a couple fabric stores, and went back to school because I wanted to teach. And so I got certified and through 8. And so I started teaching, and I am up in New York State right now. And yes, the snow is unbelievable. Not sure I'm going to stay here, but this was my mom's home, and I cared for her at her end. And so we'll just see what happens. And I happen to be, I brought my, if you can see it, how do I get it there? I brought my high school, there, high school prom necklace, little pendant. And
Oh,
I still even have my, if I can get it in there. I know, but you're still gonna see it. Yeah, my high school ring. So I found those two. They're
Awesome.
boxed up. So anyway, it's nice to be a part of this, and it's my first time doing something like that. So that's great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Priscilla.
Great,
Mhm.
Priscilla.
Margaret Feinberg.
Hold on. Am I unmuted now? Okay.
Yes.
Before I forget, it's time for me to throw them out. These were my tap shoes from Ugly I Sing.
Awesome.
My high school memories include a lot of stuff with the drama and the theater stuff. Anyway, I looked at my high school yearbook. Everybody was wishing me good luck at the University of Rochester, where I lasted 1 year. It snowed too much and it was too cold, and I live in Montreal now, so that wasn't planned. I transferred back to the University of Maryland. I tried dance as a major. It didn't work out for me, and I decided to get my degree in psychology and behavioral sciences. I got a Bachelor of Science and went to optometry college at New England College of Optometry in Boston, where I met my husband, David, who ended up being a chemistry professor. So after I graduated, we moved quite a bit. We moved to Berkeley, we moved back to Boston, and now we're in Montreal. We have 3 daughters who 2 are married. We have 2 grandsons and a grandson on the way. And I had to relearn French to work here, which is not the same as the French we learned in high school.
At McGill.
Okay. Thank you, Margaret. Yoko.
Hello, hello. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Oh, okay. Thank you very much. At first, this is Yoko Nakato, AFS student from Japan. So at first, I would like to thank you all. I had a tremendous time, a year at WJ, and of course with my American family, Margaret Feinberg. So at first, I would like to thank very much. Then after I
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
Pardon? Pardon?
Konnichiwa.
What?
you're muted, Bruce. You're muted,
You're
Bruce.
using up her time.
Konnichiwa.
No, I didn't get it.
Konnichiwa.
Oh, konnichiwa. Oh, in Japanese, konnichiwa. Okay. Okay, yeah, konnichiwa. Thank you so much. And after I graduated from WJ, I went back to Japan and I went to University of Tokyo. And I'm now staying in Tokyo. But my job was university, and I worked for a university down in Fukuoka for more than 25 years, about 25 years. So, and I retired from it, and now I'm having a nice time. I'm having a nice time in Tokyo, yes. And I have 3 sons. That's it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Yoko.
Domo
Okay.
arigato. Domo arigato.
Okay, now next I have a D, just identified as D. So
Frank,
D.
that might be David Lotes. We
No,
used-
no, I got a D, D-E-E.
Okay, all right.
Is that you? I see your picture and I see the D, D-E-E. Are you
I don't
talking?
see it on my screen.
Long hair.
She's on the second page of my
There
screen.
used to be a Diana D.
Oh, yes, there was.
Okay, D, are you talking?
She's unmuted now, so.
She looks like she's unmuted, but she's talking. I can't hear her.
She must have her volume down on her.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
your volume.
Here, write the word volume.
You're in a very dark room.
She's trying to fix it. I don't know.
Okay, move on and we'll come back.
All right, we're gonna have to come back to her because we can't hear her. Okay, I've got a O'Haran iPhone.
Yes. Yes, hello. I'm Octavio Harin. I
Harin.
I graduated and came to live in my country in Ecuador. I live in Guayaquil. I'm married. I have 3 kids that are married, 7 grandkids, and I basically work in the marine industry, selling sailboats and all kinds of nautical accessories. It's really nice to see all of you, and hope to see you in September. I want to send a regard to my friend Mike Jablonski, who I often see when we go skiing at Park City, Utah. Good afternoon.
Okay, all right, you win the award.
Muchas gracias.
You did it in about 45 seconds. Good job. Okay, next I have Pam Brancaccio.
You're on mute.
Pam? Pam? You're muted, Pam. Pam, you're muted.
She can't probably hear you.
I got it.
Okay.
There. I'm sorry. My maiden name was Mills, a lot easier than Brancaccio, but you did a good job, Frank. Thank you. I was new to Walter Johnson as a junior, so you probably don't know me. I don't know a lot of you, but it's so wonderful to see your faces. And since I moved around all my life, I'm very happy to be part of a reunion. I think it's a great concept, and thank you all for your hard work on getting this together. Except for living in Baltimore for 5 years, I haven't left a 2-mile radius, I guess, of Walter Johnson. I live in Chevy Chase with my husband. We have 2 sons. I have 2 grandchildren and another one due this summer. I'm a nurse, graduated from AU, and have had a varied career in nursing. Lastly, for a home health care company here in Chevy Chase called Capital City Nurses. Lots of activities with the kids, skied a lot. I should have seen some of you all in Deer Valley and Park City. That's about it. Very happy and healthy and very blessed in many ways. So thank you again.
Awesome, Pam.
Okay, great. Thank you, Pam.
Okay.
All right, now I have a D. Lotz.
I remember you.
You do?
Kay Davis. Kay Davis.
It was really hard to be new in a big school like Walter Johnson for just 2 years, but yeah. And when I see you all, I'm sure we'll have a lot more memories to share.
And Pam, I love you too. We'll always remember Earth Day, riding our bikes to school.
I did do that.
I did it.
We did do that. April 20th.
Okay, D. Lotz.
David.
Okay.
David Lotz.
David Lotz.
Lotz.
And I live in Everett, Washington, just north of Seattle in an artist community. I went to Wingate and then moved to Vienna and then back to North Bethesda and then WJ for my sophomore year where we played football, Frank. And then I moved to Richland, Washington and graduated from high school there. I did attend the 1990 reunion at WJ because I moved back in 1984 to Silver Spring, where I worked for Vitro Corporation and taught at the University of Maryland. And then I came back here 25 years ago. So the only picture that I'm in the windup was the football picture. Somehow I didn't get in the class picture. So, but it was just that 1 year. Anyway, I'm hoping to see you in September.
Okay, great. Thank
Great,
you,
David.
Ann McBride. Hello.
Hi. Hi, I am Ann Peck. That's how you knew me. But I'm married to Craig McBride and I live in Salem, Oregon. I graduated from UCLA. I was a professional performer for many years. I am now retired. But when we moved to Oregon, I got involved with a community radio station and I got very interested in Celtic music and I co-host a show on KMUZ FM Celtic.org on Friday nights at 7, called the Celtic Music Hour. And that's, and I also do a theater talk, but not right now because there is no theater. And that's all I have to say about myself, I guess.
All right.
Thank you,
Pretty
Ann.
interesting. Pretty interesting. Thank you, Ann. Gerald Berg.
I am unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Jerry Berg. Now, I did not graduate from Walter Johnson, but I knew lots of people who did. I actually attended elementary school in Kensington at Parkwood Elementary School. Lost track of all my friends because after that I went to junior high school on the eastern part of the county at Sligo and then high school at Northwood. But I would be delighted to meet up again and reunite with some of my old friends from the people I knew at back at Parkwood. Well, I'm hoping that something like that happens. I might even come to the reunion this fall. Anyway, I finished. I went on to school, University of Wisconsin and Washington University, St. Louis, Brown, and the University of Maryland. Ended up being an economist, teaching for a while, first at Penn State, later at the U.S. National Defense University, which none of you has ever heard of, but it's a little graduate school run by the military, and enjoyed that a great deal. Had a sabbatical in France one year and loved that and became a Francophone. And now I go back every year to visit and actually relearn French. It was a lot of fun. And that's about it. I'm doing well. And I would just be delighted to hoping to reunite with a few of the people I knew. I'm enjoying everyone's stories, but still it'd be great to reunite with some of the people I knew, some of the kids I knew at Parkwood.
So,
Okay, thank you.
I need to ask you a question. Did you go to our website to find out about this?
Yes.
Okay, so have you joined the website?
Yes.
Okay, because you can, okay. All right, sounds good.
I'm on the list, yes.
Okay.
Great, Gary.
Okay, we're gonna try D again because we heard nothing from you. You need to unmute.
Oh, I can see her voice.
We can see her. We can see you talking, but we can't hear you.
You're muted, D.
There. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay!
All right.
Okay. I had to switch to my iPhone. For some reason, my computer, I hardly ever use it. And I guess the speaker died. I don't know.
Does it have a microphone?
I'm Dee Dee Dumont.
Dee Dee Dumont.
Yes.
D, what was
Yeah,
your last name? What was your last name, D?
Dumont.
Dumont. Dee Dee
Dumont. Yeah. I was Dee Dee Dumont. I'm now called Dee. I got my master's degree in community mental health. I worked with juvenile delinquents. I figured since I was a delinquent, I should probably work with them. So that was fun. I enjoyed it. I did go to the reunion and I have some pictures from the reunion. I think it was the 1990, I went to two of them, the 10-year and the 20-year. I have a picture of Curtis and Sharon Mackey. And
Wow.
and oh gosh, I can't remember all of them, but I'll bring them to the reunion. I can't, my yearbook's all packed up. I move around, I retired. And I go back and forth, and I'll be in Maryland in Bethesda next week. So maybe some of us can get together.
All right. Thank you, Dee Dee.
Thanks, Dee Dee.
Good to see you, Dee Dee.
Okay, at this point, I've been running through this participant list. Is there anybody out there that is a newbie that hasn't had a chance to say anything? Have we got everybody?
That's
Frank,
amazing.
if you don't mind, I was there for a couple of minutes, but I wanted to show the 1980 picture that I still have, which has all, it's a little bit hard to see there, but you can see all of the people who attended the 1980 reunion.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gonna bring that?
I can.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Okay, so breakout rooms. We made it.
We made it.
So
Great,
here's what I would like you to do when you get into the room. And you don't know yet who you're going to be with, but when you get in the room, somebody should volunteer or get picked to be a spokesperson, because we're going to get feedback from you when the break room is over. So please select somebody to be a spokesperson. And then we thought of things that you could discuss, notwithstanding any personal things like the neighborhoods or the junior high schools you went to, but talk about your favorite teacher or your least favorite teacher, a memorable experience from high school that you might share with the people that are in your room, or something that happened after high school where you ran into unexpectedly a WJ classmate somewhere or something like that. So there's some things to think about when you get into the breakout room. And then when we're done, and Bruce is in charge of that, when we get back, then I will call on, he'll put up the break, I think they're numbered, right, Bruce?
Yeah,
And
what
so
you
we'll
should
say
get is
break-
a little prompt to click to join the breakout room. And then after about, maybe 12 to 15 minutes, you'll see another prompt that says the breakout room is going to be closing, and it'll automatically send you back to this main room.
Okay. And when we get everybody back, then what we'll do is we'll say breakout room 1, et cetera. Spokesperson gives us a minute or two of what you guys talked about.
So remember your breakout room number.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So let's do it, Bruce.
Okay,
Let's do it, Bruce.
here we go. You're muted, Shelley. You're muted.
Muted.
Okay, we're back in the main room now.
All right, I'm getting my champagne.
So welcome back, everyone. We hope you had a great breakout session.
That was quick.
It was. We want more.
Oh, well, I wanted to give everybody time to report. There were 6 rooms, so we want to give everybody a minute or so to comment on what they found out as far as memorable experiences or whatever. So Frank, do you want to take it over and go down room by room?
Where are you, Frank?
There he is. He's on sheet 1.
Frank, you're muted.
Hey, Tommy.
I think everyone got muted coming back in.
Frank?
Yeah, everybody gets muted when they come back into the room, so.
Frank, unmute yourself.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey,
Usually you can hear over the unmute.
There's some permanency we can do that.
Yeah.
Frankie? Cheryl, I know Cheryl's with me on that one.
Yeah, I got it. I got that frequency.
okay, all right. Breakout room number 1. Restart this. So who's your spokesperson?
Eric.
That would be me.
Okay.
Eric.
And I just forgot everything.
Oh, make it up, Eric.
Okay. Let's see. Jim Bort and Jack were talking about living in the same area for such a long time. They live right down there, and they were talking about 2 houses that blew up. I never heard about that.
Me either.
Right on Ashley Street. Is that where it was?
Yeah. Came over like an earthquake.
Boom.
Wow.
Where was
Were they
that?
meth labs?
Pardon?
Were they meth labs? in California when your house goes up. Sorry, it happens out here.
Oh, that's West Virginia.
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
One was somebody trying to change an electric dryer to gas, and it didn't go very well. Shouldn't do everything yourself, obviously. And then the other one was a suicide. Unfortunately, he took his dog with him.
Wow.
Didn't deserve it.
Dad.
Then everybody was talking about if they've gotten the shots. I guess that's a big topic now. Catherine was talking about meeting. We talked about, we forgot to do favorite teachers when that little blip came up that we're closing in 58 seconds. And so we were talking about favorite teachers. I think Anne was talking about she met one of her biology teachers and said that what did he say? That it's a good thing you can sing because I don't know. It's bad when a teacher has to. You know what I'm thinking about is how many people in our class married their own teachers or.
Maybe Jan Erickson.
Oops.
I don't think so.
As a matter of fact, strangely enough, I got an email from Jan. She says anyone who wants to reach out to her, can get her email address. I have her email address.
Did she join the website?
I believe she did. She had something going on today or something. Otherwise, she couldn't be here. But yeah, that's true. That she's the only one I know of who married a teacher.
Everyone here.
One of the other things we talked about was staying at home, and Catherine was talking about she spent Thanksgiving and Christmas alone.
Home alone.
I'm just wondering if she bought herself some gifts on Amazon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me.
I had a delivery today, Eric.
Okay, how about room number 2? Who's in charge there?
Good night, now.
Priscilla?
Wasn't me. I wasn't in charge.
Who
I
was?
didn't get to say anything in group 2, so I guess I'll be the spokesperson for that group.
All right.
We had quite a Japanese connection. Yoko discovered that, I think was it Jean that was had a daughter that had gone to Japan and visited places that Yoko actually worked in, and it turned out that Mr. Mulaney married a Japanese woman, so there was quite a Japanese connection there. And favorite teacher that was mentioned was Mr. Tippett.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I do remember him.
I didn't get a chance to throw in my favorite teacher before the session closed, and I would like to put in Mr. Hood as someone who opened my eyes to the exploitative nature of American colonialism, which he very fervently promoted in his classroom. And so that was the initiation of my liberalism, was Mr. Hood and Walter Johnson.
That's certainly an aid for living. That's a good living.
Thank you.
It's an odd thing to pontificate on, considering we've only had one colony in the history of the country.
Right.
It's the
Okay,
Philippines.
room 3. Who's in charge there?
I'm in Lewis here. I'll do group 3. We had a great group. We had Alan and Jaslow and James and Lucy and Curtis and Linda Hahn and Christy. And we discussed some old memories, Curtis's various encounters with the various authorities in various states across the country. His visit to official facilities in Anaheim, California, but he seems to be out of incarceration now and doing well, Curtis. And Christy lives right here in Gaithersburg, and Linda is right in Georgetown, and she spends her summers in Colorado. We talked about some old memories, and we tried to get into favorite teachers. I'm trying to remember. I was not taking notes, but there were several favorite teachers. I know I mentioned a teacher I didn't love, but I have to admit she was the best teacher I ever had, and that was Virginia Baker, who taught 12th grade English. A real battle axe of a woman with no nonsense, and and you couldn't write your composition on the bus on the way to school the way I usually did, and because she required you to do an outline, the first draft, second draft, and final, so you couldn't like bullshit your way through the class. So she taught me to write. So I have to admit she was outstanding. But I think I have really fond memories of our of classes and teachers. It's a great group, and I look forward to seeing you all again in person in September.
All right.
Hey, I have a question. Hold on, Louis.
Yeah.
Can you teach Priscilla and Linda and Dee Dee how to turn their iPads so they can be horizontal like you? Because you're on an iPad also.
Right, I'm on an iPad. I don't know. I just have my iPad horizontal. I'm on a Zoom conference 3 or 4 times a week, so I'm used to this.
There, Dee got it. Oh, yeah, that's better, Dee.
It's just, I don't know.
I just wondered.
It's you turn your iPad horizontal, and
it's
it
the
has
camera
a cover that stands up automatically. So
it's the camera.
But I'm not a
Okay.
techie, so I can't help you.
Okay.
That's the best I can do.
When I need help, I ask my grandchildren.
All right, room 4. Room 4.
Okay, was that us?
No, we were 5.
I think that was Bruce and Herb and Margaret and Jerry and myself and Priscilla.
Okay.
But Bruce is the spokesperson, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm unmuted. Okay, so we had Bobby Poe, Andy Pino, excuse me, Herb Pearson, Priscilla Plum, Gerald Berg, and myself were in this room. There were discussions about some teachers in particular. The several people dreaded Colonel Craig. In particular, a memory was, I guess I wasn't in his class, but I guess he had a jar full of numbers that he used to shake and choose. A student had to stand up and present something or do a problem. And that was apparently a very fearful experience for some people. They didn't want to stand up and do that. Priscilla remembered Mighty Moo. A lot of people remembered extracurricular activities more than the teachers in particular. She was one of those. Let's see, I happen to remember that was a big time of experimentation in teaching, where we did some odd things. Like I had a science class where we were allowed to teach the class and choose the subject. And in my case, I was a car guy, so we and a friend of mine who was in the class, Jimmy Walker, we took an engine apart and put it back together in the science classroom. So that was very unusual to be able to do that. Let's see. I think that covers it in a nutshell.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
Bruce. Okay, room 6.
It was 5, I
5.
think.
Excuse me. Sorry, 5.
That's
Five. We were, myself, Julie, I was Robertson in high school, Mary Rubush, Randy Beatty, David Crow, and Karen Kavanaugh. So I guess we were the only group with just 5 people, maybe. We had a couple of connections. Randy recalled being in physics class with, or was it math? Physics, I think, with Mary. And he thought Karen, but Karen reassured us that she distinctly recalled not having taken physics in high school. Said that with feeling. David told us that Randy Beatty was the only person probably in our high school who ever met his father. A number of us have now read his book, including Mary and myself, and were very affected by it. Mary said that after reading it, she realized she always used to fear that she was not a very good mother, but after reading David's book, she decided she wasn't bad after all. And
What a revelation.
David told us that Randy was, I said that, probably the only one who ever met his father. He was employed as one of the community pools, and David's father was the one who had interviewed him, but David said that Randy would not have been able to have guessed what his father was really like, a lot of the things that we heard in the book. And that the normal, somebody commented what a wonderful, normal, good person he had turned out to be despite his upbringing. And he said it didn't come easily or quickly. It took him 40 years to get to the point that he is now. He is still running the bipartisan consulting firm that he has worked on. Karen Kavanaugh and I had a connection back predating high school. We were Girl Scouts together for several years in elementary and junior high school. And I recall making a kind of cookies that I've never come across before since, called alfajores, which were, I guess, a South American cookie made with, you heat condensed milk for a long time in the oven. And it turns into kind of a caramel, and they were wonderful. You rolled them between two sandwiches and could dip them in, sandwich cookies, and dip them in different topics. And now that the internet is here, a few years ago, I was able to find out more about them and how to make them. That's pretty much it. We have several people had important things coming up. David's first grandchild was born 3 weeks ago. Mary's daughter is about to be married, has decided to elope because things are so complicated to do anything more with COVID. And Mary's still running her company, a medical school companion, helping people prepare for the medical board exams. So we had a good talk. Yeah, I wonder if we have time for another breakout room, or are we ending at 5:30? Are we ending soon? What else are we going to do?
I don't know. I'm not in charge. Okay. Sorry. Okay, room 6.
I think we were 5, but go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, okay. So it was basically Kay and I, we started out with Shelley and David, and then it must have been our bad breath or something, but Shelley decided to leave and join other rooms and flit around, and David left us. So Kay and I had a romantic session. We're not going to say what we actually did, but we can say that Kay Davis Proshecki and I had a wonderful conversation. One of her best recollections was of the Palms group and dancing. So Robin holding up those shoes. I don't know if that was a part of the group, but that was one of their recollections. And
I held up my shoes because Margaret was going to throw hers away. And I'll be damned if I ever throw my tap shoes away. I'm still tapping. So Margaret, hang on to those tap shoes.
I've had so many pairs that I said I danced 11 years. I know, Robin, you went on and did bigger and better things, but I stopped when I went to high school because of boys, my interest in boys and sports and activities in high school.
Okay. Well, nothing was going to get in the way of me and my dancing shoes.
No, you went on to do
forget about boys.
I threw out my last pair of toe shoes. I hadn't worn them in 50 years, so I decided that I didn't have to keep them.
But they also talked about the fact that the girls, my close friends from high school, we still continue to get together and meet. So that's wonderful to have that connection.
And now we're doing it on Zoom, which is, thank you to COVID in a way. We live in all different states across the country. And so we're Zoom meeting for happy hour every once in a while. And I that's kind of a cool thing that's come out of this, that we can keep that connection. And even like this, I've enjoyed this so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we have one more room. Tommy, you're up.
Okay, I thought it was room 6, but maybe I was wrong. And we're the last room. I was with Frank and Cheryl and Dee Dee Dumas and Nancy Brewster and Robin Hoff and Mike Jablonski. There was a huge Western connection, of which, had I gone to the University of New Mexico like I was supposed to after high school, I would have been a part of, but I was the only one who basically stayed on the East other than Robin. But she lives in Jackson Hole too, so she's as much West as she is
Lobos.
And so anyway, Cheryl reminded us that she started at Shepherd and ended up going to Colorado and staying hooked up with Frank. And yeah, we heard all that before. We've done that. Nancy Brewster's tight in Colorado too. Mike Jablonski is skiing wherever there is snow and mountains, so that means Colorado and Utah. And Dee Dee told us about going back to college after she had kids that were like 6 and 8. I said, oh God, who could do that? Maybe that was why she wanted to leave the kids, get a babysitter and get away and blame it on college, but she did good. Robin shared with us her story, which I was totally unaware of. Robin Hoff may have been the first and maybe only graduate of WJ via
Correspondence.
Correspondence. She left school in 10th grade to go to dance with the Washington Ballet group, ended up in New York and dancing professionally at the age of 17.
Wow.
Having a granddaughter who is turning 17 this week and who's been doing dance and stuff like that, totally remarkable. Robin, I'm just so impressed. I've got some friends who have been in theater in New York as well. And so I know the sacrifices and how tough that is, and just golf claps all around. That's just good stuff.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
Mike Jablonski tried to get us on a favorite teacher and talking about his biology teacher, but Frank and Cheryl and I jumped on Fred Tippins again because we thought he was the coolest guy since on sliced bread. Robin, just to let you all know, Robin did not come to our graduation, although she graduated with us with a degree, not a GED, because she was actually working. So she was probably the first professional in our class, is Robin Hoff. So congratulations to Robin.
Very good.
Good job there. Good people.
Robin, did you know Mary Day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she was scary.
So
I was terrified of her.
that's it from our group. We had lots to talk about and enjoyed it very much.
Okay. All right. So wrap up time. Remember the website, wj1970.com. Facebook, Walter Johnson, Class of 1970. And this is now an expanded group. We had a 35 or 40 in the October one. Now we had added another 12 to 15 in this group. We are now the official reunion ambassadors. So this is, you're just like COVID. You now have COVID. You are a reunion ambassador.
We have a mission.
And only with COVID, we don't want to spread it. As a reunion ambassador, we want you to spread it around. So we'll get ready for the reunion. And with that joke, I'll give it back to Shelley.
I want to say one more. Can I say something?
No.
No.
Okay. Yes, of course you can.
I never made it to any of the reunions because each time there was a reunion, I was having a baby, I was moving. It didn't work out for me. I promised myself I'd go to the 50th. And right now, the border between Canada and the US has been closed for a year.
Closed, yeah.
I have not seen one of my children in 2 years. If you are able to get across the border, when you come back, you have to go into a government facility for 3 days and then quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we have not gotten the vaccine yet because Canada was really slow to get it. We're just starting to get it. And I hope to get one shot next week. And I'm told my second shot will be 4 months later. So
wow,
4 months.
4 months?
That's what they're doing. I would like to come to the reunion, but I don't know what the situation's going to be. So keep me informed and keep me up to date. And if I can't make it, I can't make it, but I hope I can.
Well, hopefully with the one-shot vaccines coming along, that more people will get it and gradually things will open up.
Yeah.
I hope so, but this is the situation here in Canada right now. And the only vaccines that they don't have a one-shot vaccine yet here. I think it just got approved, but I'm scheduled for an appointment next Sunday, and hopefully things will roll out. But Canada was very slow to get the vaccines, and then the companies reneged on some of what they were supposed to send. So we're all 2 months behind you guys, and who knows what's going to happen.
Well, thank you so much for including Yoko.
Yeah, I got Yoko in and I got Ann to join. McBride to MPEC to join today. So
that was awesome.
Wasn't that nice to see her? Yeah.
All right.
You're a good ambassador.
I do closing remarks, but we do have a little time if somebody wants to make another announcement or something?
Okay, well, I do,
Okay.
because my favorite teacher story got cut off at the end of our unit. So I'm at this conference at a hotel in DC for chemistry teachers, and I'm signing in, and Mr. Sanford is next to me. And he says, I remember you, but I don't have your name. So I gave it to him. Then he looked at me and said, what are you doing here? And I said, I teach high school chemistry. And he just stepped back and said, say it isn't so. You were late every morning. I said, yes. And I now understood why that pissed you off so much.
And I have to say, I just want to say that my senior year, I was in Mr. Sanford's class, 8 o'clock with Ricky LaCivita.
I was in that class.
Killed that class. I mean, I got
Douglas.
And I went into college thinking I was like maybe loving chemistry and going to be a chemistry person. Yeah, that didn't happen. Like you had to do it every night. I was like, yeah, but I loved Mr. Sanford's chemistry.
Yeah, I did too.
I did too. I had him too. Yeah.
Well, and actually at one of our reunions, and it must have been 1990, I was talking to Joe Douglas, who was my lab partner in that class. And I said, I'm going to the science and technology school and I'm teaching chemistry. And Joe looked at me and said, you didn't do one experiment. I dragged you through that entire class. And I said, yes, and thank you very much, because that's how I'm going to pay for my mortgage for the next 30 years.
I remember Mr. Sanford. I remember him making the distinction between, he must have said something about how I knew he hated people coming in late.
Oh, God, yeah.
I said something about it being too much work, and he stopped and spun around. He said, it's not that it's too much work. He said, I do not mind work. He said, you all do apparently in this class. He said, too much bother is very different from too much work. And it always stuck with me. And Donna Jean, I was going to say, did we ever hear from Donna? I see Donna Jean, and you started to speak just before I did, so I didn't want to cut you off. So go ahead and at least.
No, I don't think you did.
Donna.
I was just responding with like, wow, these are great memories.
Who was the biology teacher someone said was their favorite?
Mrs. McNamee.
Mrs. McNamee.
Yeah.
She was hard.
She was
I
great.
think John Wetherell.
All for animals.
And whether
This is new to me. That's the one that told me it was a good thing I could sing.
She was,
And she also said, you know, Anne, some people aren't meant to be scientists.
she was
And Anne?
cold-hearted.
I remember Mrs. McNamee, and I didn't do my homework one day because we had rehearsal for half a sixpence till like 10 o'clock at night or something. And so she gave me such shit the next day, and she said, what's more important, your biology homework or rehearsing some show? And I said, Mrs. McNamee, rehearsing some show.
Yes.
She was a
That won her over.
And Anne, do you remember our senior English teacher? I cannot remember his name, but I can picture him. And at one point when he was giving out grades, he was giving me a C. And I said, why? And he said, because you talk to half a bushel too much.
Oh,
And
See that big tall guy that taught like in the
Mr. Chalfont?
downstairs?
no,
You
No.
he
can't
was
get away with
a
that
very
now.
large white man.
Oh, we had some guy who, I can't remember his name in English, in senior, he had an Eastern
Redden,
Maryland
Mr.
accent.
Redden. Mr.
Yeah.
Redden.
I still remember him quoting Shakespeare in that Eastern Maryland accent.
Oh my God, yes.
Tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in the springtime from day to day till
Oh my
I
gosh.
stumble a recorded time.
I hope this gives you all
I had-
an idea of what it's going to be like at the reunion.
I had a comment, and I couldn't remember his name, but I looked him up. It was Mr. Matthews, this very young guy, his first job. I loved him. I don't know, but he was so green, and I remember him when I went into
Geometry.
teaching. Algebra or geometry, yeah.
was so
Because
young.
he yelled at me the first day. He said, he came in and he said, no one
you're not leaving, and you raise your hand and ask permission if you're going to get up out of your seat. So at some point I raised my hand. I said, can I go sharpen my pencil? And he yelled at me, well, if you're old enough to be in here, you can go sharpen your pencil. And then months later on a ski trip, when he was just a mellow, nice guy with his Miss Florida wife and stuff, he said, I'm really sorry about that, but that's what in To Sir with Love, that's what Sidney Poitier did. He picked on somebody the first day to show, do you think that was good? But I remembered that as a teacher myself.
Good story. I remember him well.
I was in that class too, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you remember him yelling at me?
I don't remember that.
He was barely older.
Remember the dog? He was so young. And I remember I was so impressed because he had worked for NASA at Cape Canaveral. But then again, on the ski trip, I remember he was watering the grass of the sod they had to put back after they put in one of the launchers. And that was his job.
Who else had Mrs. Snowden?
I did.
Snowden, I loved her. She was
great.
tough too.
Who's speaking?
She was very tough. Very
She
good.
was.
Very, very
I
good
was
English
Is
teacher.
she English?
English,
Yeah.
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 In fact, the McGovern kid was in that class with me. George McGovern's son.
Steve.
Steve was in that class. Absolute vegetable. Absolute vegetable. Never said a name. In there.
Hey, Tommy, is it true? I always heard these rumors that he was really into heavy drugs.
Well, that's what he died from. I think he actually died from his alcohol and drug abuse. Oh, if he wasn't stoned, he was just, there's no other explanation.
I tell you though, he was in a group that went with me to you remember that little community of Scotland? It was a poor Black community back off of.
Off River Road.
7 blocks.
Right. He's a good tutor we tutored kids, and he was
he was
dedicated and
really
good.
smart.
Well, here's the Steve McGovern story. He fell asleep in his dad's apartment in Washington. His dad was senator from South Dakota, right? He was our commencement speaker.
Commencement speaker, yeah.
Presidential nominee, 72 against Nixon. Anyway, he fell asleep and burned the entire thing down.
Wow.
And did hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage. So,
he came to the graduation. It was a really sad story.
So I met him once. I was a young congressional aide. His dad got him a job at the credit union, and he got fired after about a month because he fell asleep in the back room. Last time I ever saw him.
That's why he was in English class, and Miss Snowden just ignored him, and that was fine because everybody else just kind of just ignored him too. I mean, I never spoke to the guy.
I was in a head-on collision with the state trooper at Great Falls, or over there, Great Falls, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And head-on collision with a cop, and wine bottle flew out the window. Huh?
What were you doing?
Drinking. But I wasn't driving. Kim Garcia was. But then as soon as they found out that it was George McGovern's car, the state patrol all gave us ride home. Nothing more was said. Nothing more was said. That was one of the easy times in the Hooskow for me.
Yeah, that was then.
Yeah.
Back then.
What's happening now?
Well, and if your skin had been a different color, you would have ended up dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tell all my employees to help them along and tell them that I was voted least likely to succeed in life or make it to the age of 50.
You were not.
You're a liar, Curtis. You lie like a dog.
I know. I just
thing.
I just tell these employees that because some of them are a little bit down in the trenches, So I just let them know that there's room to move up.
Oh, my
Curtis, I want to say I love your humor on Facebook. Yours and Steve Mulaney's humor. I chuckle every time I see a post by you guys.
Well, that's good.
Curtis, I want to know, did you tell everybody that you were a nationally ranked diver in elementary school?
Oh, it's true. It's true.
It's true. I
You know.
remember coming to your house and you were showing me the massage table that you had, and I said, "Oh man, this is pretty cool."
I still got it.
Man, it was great, man. It was great. I mean, Curtis was nationally ranked as a diver in elementary school.
Yeah,
I remember seeing you, Curtis.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you on the trampoline in North Bethesda once, Curtis. It blew me away. The height you gained and it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then you know I got interested in girls, and that went all out the window.
That'll do it to you, big boy. That'll do it to you. You got to learn from that.
All right, it's a little late for that, you know. My wife doesn't let me have girlfriends anymore.
Even on the trampoline?
And now I do more jiggling than I do flips.
And not on the trampoline.
Wait till you see me on the dance floor.
I got a picture of you. I think you were dancing with someone at the reunion.
Probably Karen Stinson.
Where is she?
Yeah, where's she?
Yeah,
I've been trying to.
Hear from her every once in a while.
Where's
Sharon Mackey? Georgia.
Yeah.
Where is Rick LaCivita?
He's in
Asheville,
Asheville, Carolina.
I had a long talk with Rick a few months ago. He called me about a project that he's working on. And we had a great talk, but he should be here,
Sure, he was our
Seriously. He should be here, but he's not. But he has been in touch with me and Tom Holt and emails and Frank. And hopefully, I think he's going to be at the reunion, and hopefully he's going to speak as our president.
Wow.
So,
nice to see him.
For a minute.
For a minute.
Only if you remind him that he was our president.
So, all right. So I'm going to wrap this up. I got a little thing to say, but before I do, okay, so I have a question. We've been working on this for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have the in-person reunion in September. And I wasn't going to have any more Zooms, but what do you all think? Do we want another Zoom before September? It's 6 months away.
Yes.
Yes. Nice.
I think the breakout rooms make a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think,
Breakup.
Bruce, how many new people joined us? At least 10 or more.
Yeah, I
right?
think 12.
Yeah.
Oh, I was one.
I had asked for Sunday because I couldn't come on a Saturday, so this worked for me.
Oh, we did this.
Only if Frank uses
We
the
did
bell.
this for you, Margaret.
I
Yeah,
know.
Margaret, we did it
Thank
for
you
you.
very much.
Because you responded on the survey and you said you wanted it Sunday, so that's what we did.
And Margaret,
We could have a second breakout room too, if Bruce could swap us. I think we
Yeah.
could have done more
Yeah.
than one breakout room.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
But this was kind of fun too. This
Different
meeting up
people.
thing.
Mhm.
I want to talk to Anne about her experiences in theater.
Okay, so this is March, so April, May, June, maybe
Sometime in July, later
Maybe-
July,
July.
later
think
July,
we're
which
off in
is 3 months
June.
from reunion.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do that. Okay. So as an update, we'll always be updating on the website. Of course, we want to have our in-person reunion, but state mandates, depending on what happens with how many people you can have together, we just don't know.
Right.
My feeling, and I think the committee's feeling, is if we're allowed to meet, but we have to wear masks, I'm thinking we shouldn't do it because it's hard enough to recognize people or hear people without masks.
Well, how
I
many people
agree.
had their shots?
Well, you can take the masks off when you're eating, so.
Well, Shelley, I don't know when the hotel.
Postpone
needs
it,
that
right, Shelley?
confirmation.
Yeah.
I don't know when the
That's what
hotel
I'm
needs.
thinking.
People had
I'm
their
thinking
shots.
if we may have to postpone it together, but we can.
We'll
go
figure it out when we have more information.
when we're later, right?
Right.
I just don't think we want a reunion with masks.
Right.
Well, then
I'm not going to be able to recognize anybody.
No, it'll be impossible.
This will help. Having the Zoom will help.
Yeah.
But all right,
Yeah, in July, that'll be good.
Good
point.
Yeah, we're all like this. Nobody's gonna.
It's hard. As a teacher, I was practicing with my eyebrows. Can you tell if I'm angry or happy?
I've made over 500 masks for people, for hospitals, for
Wow.
and so on and so
Wonderful.
forth masks.
Thank
Early
you.
on.
you.
I made masks also.
Shelley,
I
do you
do
think
too.
an outside venue could work? If you know, we could gather outside rather than inside with masks? I don't know.
Well,
Come
that's
us in, come us in.
the one
What
thing
you
is,
do is make a
Pam,
mask and have the picture of the
you know,
person.
we've gone through,
high
we've
school
already
on the
put
mask.
down $8,000 to the.
Oh, forget it
Oh.
then.
We already
How
have
about
huge-
that facility? Do they have like a patio outdoor area?
They do.
Or a rooftop, yeah.
They do.
Or a roof, because, yeah, keep it there, but maybe have that outdoor option and then we'd be okay. Because you're
That's
right,
an
it's hard to
idea.
know what they're
Hey,
gonna.
Pam, do you want to
Yes.
be on the committee?
I'd be happy to, I'm a local person. All you people live in such fun cities. I'd be
Okay.
happy to help you and Linda.
I
It's
know you
it's
said
fine.
that before, so,
We-
all right,
we-
that's an idea. We can talk about that.
And who's the Columbia member? Because I live right across the street and I'm a member and I saw your
Bob
picture.
O'Toole.
Yeah, so I
Bob
mean,
O'Toole.
he must be nearby. I'd be happy to sponsor another lunch there or something. You all
So,
wanna
so
get
the
together.
last in-person committee meeting we had was March 11th, not knowing that it would be our last in-person committee.
Before-
Because I remember sitting there at the table. He'd rent us this, or not rent, but he'd get the beautiful.
Round table, yeah.
No, not around, like this long, gorgeous table, because we had
Like in a
6
boardroom.
Boardroom.
boardroom. And I remember having the hand sanitizer in front of me. And I remember whoever the one person came in, it might have even been Bob, somebody came in, they go, I'm sitting next to the girl with the hand sanitizer. And that was March 11th. And not knowing at all that that would be it, because Catherine said the next day is when we got told that we were done.
Everything closed.
No, I came up there on March 11th, not knowing, and I got stuck up there for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mm.
No, that was the weekend.
I was so nervous going into that meeting on March 11th. And I was the first person into the boardroom and I didn't have any hand sanitizer or wipes or anything in this house. So I took packets of makeup removers and I cleaned the table in front of me and the arms on my chair. And I had resolved that I was not staying for lunch. But what happened? Yeah, I couldn't resist the glass of wine with friends. I did
A
stay
great
for
meeting.
lunch.
We did.
You gotta love Columbia Country Club.
It is.
Oh my God, it's the
beautiful.
best.
And
Bob
O'Toole.
Bob O'Toole.
Bob
Well,
O'Toole.
I have to see him again because we'll probably bump in over there.
But Pam, I'll put that in my notes, outside venue. So anyway, also.
And call me if you need me to help in any way. I'm right nearby. No
All
problem.
right. Email me your phone number. Well, it's on the website. Never mind. All right. So also, I want to encourage all of you who are here with us tonight to, yes, we've put down $8,000 already. So anybody who has not purchased a ticket yet for the gala, we really encourage you to. Someday we'll have a reunion and, you know, we need the deposits to pay for the DJ and decorations and everything. So if you have not gotten your tickets yet, I don't remember what the timeline is, but there are deadlines for when the ticket prices go up on the website. And you also can reserve your hotel room, and that's, you know, that's refundable a certain amount of time ahead because the Marriott's $89 a night. So
Wow.
even if I live in Annapolis, well, you know, I'm not driving back to Annapolis, so I'll be getting a hotel room. And we will be staying in touch with the Marriott and follow the state guidelines. And hold on. And any picture, we still would really like to get a slideshow together for, well, we can post on the website, but also we want a continuing slideshow to go on at the reunion. So please, Bruce Steely, are you still with us?
Yeah, still here.
So Bruce, you're taking the pictures, right?
Yeah, they can send it to my email address. Digital copy would be great.
Yeah.
It's on the website.
I know.
It's on the website.
I have pictures from the school musicals and plays, and I have pictures from the trip with Mr. Fest, the drama trip in April. And
Yeah, that'd be great. Please, you can find my email address on the reunion website. And if you could send me whatever you can spare, that'd be great. I'll include them in the
Yeah,
slideshow.
because we haven't even, we haven't been getting any pictures yet, so.
Yeah,
what do we
none.
take
what do I do? I just take a picture of them with my phone and then send them to you?
Well, do you already have the digital
Are you
files?
kidding me? These pictures are from 1970.
Oh, okay. Well, you could take a picture of the picture with your phone.
Yeah.
Just email it. That works.
You
Yeah.
might be getting them one at a time because I don't know how to do a whole
I mean,
bunch.
if you have a scanner, you can scan a whole bunch in one sheet.
Scan them on the
I mean,
computer.
there are options.
Okay, maybe my husband can help me with that.
Yeah.
'cause I'm-
Bruce, also, I've posted a lot on the Facebook page. You can go back and look at
Okay,
that
I'll take a look.
and pull pictures off of there.
Great. It's good to know.
Shelley, I was thinking that it also would be fun to see. I know a lot of us don't have that many pictures from high school, but maybe have them in the few years subsequent to high school. I'd be interested if they were labeled with who I'm looking at, interested to see people, in their college pictures or their, on water ski or climbing a mountain.
Even pictures of you in your profession, like Robin might have, you
Yeah.
know, some of her performances or something. I mean, anything, it doesn't have to be at WJ.
Exactly.
It can be anything that you had anything to do with, particularly if it's a picture of you, that would be great.
Yeah, soon after, or even through your life until in these last 50 years.
Yeah.
Well, and I have pictures of the float for homecoming our senior
awesome.
year.
Oh,
because It
wow.
was built in my carport.
All right, well, yeah.
That's what it was. I built that and I couldn't remember whose carport. It was your dad's boat trailer, was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I couldn't remember who that was. I was trying to convince somebody else. I
It
know
was mine.
you.
It was mine.
Well, we'll
And
have
you
to
know what?
talk.
I had to work that day because I had a job at the head company. So my mother kind of supervised everything and gave you all hot chocolate.
Can you live down, Suzanne Lexo?
I do. I do.
I guess I'm more optimistic than Shelley. This is Lewis, because I do think the reunion will come off on schedule.
I do too.
6 months away, and over 90% of the people in America will have gotten their vaccines by the first. by
Me
June.
too.
So
I'm optimistic also.
I think it'll work fine. Two things I'll mention. The one is make your reservations at the Marriott. And Shelley mentioned, is it hard to cancel? No, it's not hard to cancel. You just have to cancel with 72 hours in advance if you had an issue. And it is $89 a night. I've also been in touch with Kathy Cosgrove at Walter Johnson over the last year. And we are scheduled to do a tour of Walter Johnson High School on the Friday, 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon on September 24th, which will be fun. A number of us did that on our 45th, and school is quite dramatically different than it was 50 years ago, but that will be fun. And then we have a cocktail party at Pinstripes that evening, and then a whole bunch of activities on Saturday. So if you're coming, plan on staying 2 nights at the hotel.
At least.
At this stage of life, you can all afford it, and it's but we will have a phenomenal time, and I am extremely optimistic it'll come off on schedule without masks.
My granddaughter goes to Walter Johnson.
Oh, wow.
My God. I used to take her up there, and she's in the concert. She's a violinist, and it's so weird going in there. It's like so different,
They're so spoiled.
It's different.
At least it's still there, didn't they? I haven't been in the area, but they've closed schools over the years, right?
Yeah, they did. My elementary school, they closed. Of course, I only went there 6th grade, but.
They closed North Bethesda, didn't they?
Yeah, it's some kind of academy or something.
Did they?
They closed it, and they reopened it again.
The worst part, the worst part is the 2 brass plaques in the main lobby.
They're still there.
I know, but that one about the Wildcats is there too.
Yeah. But
That's
when
the
we were
Walter
there,
Johnson.
5 years ago, people were walking all over. If you remember, we always stepped around them.
Yes.
We wouldn't step on the plaque. Kids were walking across.
When
them.
did they close North Bethesda? Because my granddaughter just went there.
Blasphemy.
North Bethesda was closed for several years and it was a private Christian school, but it's been reopened as North Bethesda and has been for several years now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I know I drove her there.
North, do they still have the Tigers as their mascot?
Norby.
I don't know.
No,
Norby.
Red, white tiger.
Yeah, the red and white tiger. I remember.
You have to Google. We'll
I want
Google
to
it.
give a shout out to Pat Northrup if she's watching this later. Today is Pat's birthday as well as Herb Pearson.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And her.
Doing some
birthday,
birthdays.
Pat.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Pat.
So those of you who are worried about birthday celebrations, coming up on April 6th is my birthday and Margaret Feinberg's, and we will be having our second COVID birthday.
Oh,
Wow.
True. It's so true.
Last year, when they started in mid-March having us wash our hands and sing the happy birthday song, by the time our birthdays came along, I was like, I never want to hear that damn song again in my life.
Okay, second birthday's coming up too this month.
29th.
COVID birthday.
Oh, really? Okay. And
On
I
the 29th, but last year, my family, my grandkids and my daughters, when I got up in the morning of my birthday, my whole front yard was decorated with stakes with happy birthday, Mom, and happy birthday
nice.
with so sweet.
I'm pretty sure my brothers are not doing that for me.
my daughter and my granddaughter sent me a big banner that said "Happy Birthday 70."
Ah!
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Kathy and
all
I,
by myself.
Kathy and I both turned 16 2 days after Martin Luther King was killed. I will
Yes.
never forget that.
And is Karen Kavanaugh still here?
Karen, are you there?
Because she had her big birthday party on Saturday night, and which was actually the 6th, and you and I had ours on the 5th.
No, you had yours on the 5th. I was supposed to have mine on the 6th on the Saturday night, but by then.
But Karen
it was-
Kavanaugh had
it
that
was
big
me. It
party.
wasn't Karen. Karen's in December.
I'm here. I don't remember my birthday.
No, Karen's birthday's in December. I was the one who had this big party planned and they
Oh,
had to
was it?
cancel it. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. It happened. I went to it.
2 weeks later. 2 weeks later.
No.
Not on that Saturday night, but no, it had to be. It was 2 weeks later because we were under martial law and nobody
Oh
couldn't
my
have
God,
any-
Margaret, we are going to have to sit down with some serious wine because that is not the way I remember it.
You know, living in Florida, we are so open. You can almost do anything for your birthday this year. But at the onset, they did close pretty much everything. But this year, it's all open. We're going through a pontoon boat through the chain of lakes with the grandkids. That's what we're gonna do.
But Gulf Breeze, Florida, we're not as open.
Yeah.
But Florida got the vaccine, so I thought everybody there got vaccinated.
No, not only 70 and up.
Only if you live in the Ocean Reef Club.
Or you say,
Yeah.
I know a lot of Canadians who went down there to winter, and I think they could pay for it.
Central,
weekend.
they're different. They're not wearing masks. They're not
crazy.
That's like Tennessee.
They go anywhere they want. But up here in the Panhandle, closer to Alabama, they're all still kind of wearing masks and trying to, keep the numbers down.
There was a wonderful
That's
political
smart.
cartoon in the Washington Post this weekend with the map with Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And Louisiana had those big industrial fans along their eastern and western border. pushing back. I was like, oh my God, so true.
I have a daughter who's in Texas. She's a professor.
San Antonio, right?
Antonio, yeah. And she's terrified. She's been teaching on Zoom all year, as my husband here is doing. And she doesn't want to leave her house because they've just lifted the wearing the mask rule.
Yeah.
And the people there are not following rule,
I like the meme, from the people who brought you no electricity, no water, now no mask. Texas.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's terrible. Terrible.
Alabama, pretty good.
And by the way, I hope none of you need her, but my daughter, my oldest daughter is a pediatric rheumatologist at the National Children's Hospital in Washington, DC. So she ended up.
No
moving back
kidding,
there.
Margaret. Margaret,
She's-
my granddaughter has pediatric, I guess, arthritis.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in New Jersey. She was diagnosed when she was 2.
Yeah. That's what my daughter does. She takes care of these kids. So
Yeah.
she's there. And I have one in Texas, and the two of them, I have the one in Washington, I haven't seen in more than a year, and the one in Texas, it's 2 years.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter in Toronto who has come in a couple times, not stayed with us. I've seen her for 15 minutes at a time outside, because I don't need to tell you what it's like when it's, 20 below outside to stand and talk to somebody. But it is what it is. We're all waiting for this to go away.
Right.
So this has been great.
Yes.
Oh my God, this has been wonderful.
So nice to see all these faces.
It has.
And Bruce is going to post everything on YouTube so that we've got these 2 Zooms to watch forever.
I guess I gotta do it. I guess I gotta do it now, Linda.
So Bruce, our next Zoom, if we do a Zoom June or July, we'll just do, maybe we'll do 2 breakout rooms and do them a little bit longer, I guess. something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
That was nice. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Don't
And
forget,
then
you can email each other using using our website. You can email each other too through the website if there's somebody that you wanted to talk to more.
Yes, Julie, good idea. Yes, you can. You can email on the website.
And to those of you that I'm friends with on Facebook, thank you. You have saved me.
Oh.
Like from
So
6 years
don't
ago,
need
Bobby
my
Poe,
Facebook.
who was giving me advice about what BBC shows to watch.
I was just gonna say, you got the great shows.
Oh my God.
Kept me
yes.
going.
And I was like, this is wonderful. And I would tell my friends, I'm on Facebook with this guy I actually went to elementary school with. I said, but he's saving me.
Well, the only one you didn't like was Toast of London, which I guess is pretty,
That's true.
pretty much over the line.
The others I love. And is Mike Jablonski still on here?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here.
The day that we got in the long conversation with Karen Hazlett about Deschanel,
Yes.
and you wrote about what it was like when you left Deschanel and came to Miss Thiebert's class, I actually cried because I was like, I wish I could get in touch with her and let her see what Mike Jablonski said about her class and
Yeah,
how
it
it
was-
was soul saving.
That was 6th grade was my
grade.
best year of public school. I
Yep.
loved that class and everybody in it. And coming out of Deschantel, I liked Deschantel. I liked the nuns. I liked everything
I
about it. When I got to Ashburton, it was like I walked out of a black and white world into one of color. We played Greek dodgeball, and boys and girls got to have recess together on the playground. You could go to the bathroom unattended. It was unbelievable. I loved it. And Mrs. Thiebert was a wonderful teacher.
She was. I wish I could track her down because
Donald, after being at North Bethesda.
Mm.
Can you imagine going from North Bethesda to Deschanel?
No.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. And I only lasted 1 month at Deschanel, September of 6th
Oh, you
grade.
did that?
So I was there with Mike and I came back to Miss Thiebert's class, and you're right. It was soul saving.
Yeah, Miss Thiebert was great. That was the whole President Kennedy thing, 6th grade, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
With her, and she was in tears. Well, I guess everybody was, but
Well, she had been to inaugural balls for him.
Oh.
Because she
I'd
had
like to say
connections
that for
to-
anybody who went to Deschanel, I would urge you to try to find maybe on YouTube. It's a theater show. It's a play called Sister Mary Ignatius Explains It All to You.
Oh.
It is so dirty and fabulous and wonderful. It explains all the things like being in limbo, and it has like pictures of little babies with bars, because they're stuck in limbo because they didn't get baptized and everything. It's very irreverent and wonderful. So
And
Sister
Robin,
Mary.
I have with
I
a
will check
Catholic-
that out. One thing they didn't teach us at Deschantel is Saint Jane de Chantal is the patron saint of in-laws. New.
Oh,
Well, and
Patron saint
Robin,
of in-laws.
I went to see, do black patent shoes really reflect?
Yes,
us?
I did.
When I
Yes,
was an adult,
yes. Yeah.
and I come home and I'm telling my mother about it, my mother who was not raised a Catholic. And I'm telling her, she goes, what are you talking about? I said, oh my God, Mom, the nuns told us if we wore black patent shoes that the boys could see up our skirts. She's like, oh my Lord.
Oh, no, I remember telling our teacher, some nun in the 6th grade, that I was going to NB for 7th grade. And she announced to the whole class that
Sister
Robin Hoff,
Francis Regis.
okay, Sister Francis Regis,
Yep.
right. She announced to the whole class that Robin Hoff was going to public school so that she could wear short skirts and go to dances with boys. I was
Whoa.
so embarrassed, I could have died.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
as if that's a bad thing, though.
Right. Oh.
All right, everybody, we're gonna shut this
Okay.
down, I think. Hey, by the way, I went to Larchmont Elementary and Kensington Junior High School. Is anybody here, did anybody here go to those schools?
No, I went to Alta Vista and 2 years and then Fernwood.
See, nobody went to, I went to KJH and I'm
Ah.
so alone.
Went to Larchmont and KJH. I know you well.
Oh, Mary Rubush, well, yes, Mary Rubush, you did. Yes, I've known you since kindergarten. Thank you. Went to my high school and middle school, and yes, Mary, we do. We've known each other forever.
Who was in Alta Vista in 6th grade?
Who what?
Who else was in Alta Vista in 6th grade?
I was in Alta Vista for 4th and 5th.
I was in Alta Vista
What-
all the way through.
Do you
Yeah.
remember
Oh,
Janet Mundy or Munden?
Janet,
Yes.
She was, her father and my father were friends, and we had just moved from Texas. And she wouldn't even talk to me at school. And I didn't know anybody. I was from Texas and didn't know anybody. And it was, oh, I hated 6th grade.
well, I had Mrs. Hanscom. Andy, were you in Mrs. Hanscom's class?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know we went to school pretty much all the
All the
way
way
through.
through. Yep.
Did she
Yep.
wear high heel shoes and sit there and flip them on her toes?
Mrs. Hanscom?
Yeah, there was some I had sat on her desk and had these high heel shoes and would knock them on her toe. And then she became
No.
a cloistered nun.
Actually,
Her daughter was in our class.
yeah.
Her
Oh,
daughter.
I don't think she became the nun.
That was Connie Hanscom.
Connie Hanscom,
was
yes.
in our-
oh.
I remember.
She was an MB girl. I know Connie.
Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's hear it for Wingate.
Well, I was gonna say.
Got it, Wingate.
Yeah, Wingate. All right.
Yeah, there you
Here for Larchmont.
go.
Mary.
There's probably
There
10 of
for
us.
Fernwood.
Ash Burton.
I will
All
tell
right.
you a very funny story at NB, very quick. When I was in 7th grade, I was in the bathroom and Mrs. Callis was the vice principal. And she came in to the bathroom and she goes, who's in here? Who's smoking? Well, wasn't smoking. She made me come out of the stall and get on my knees to see if my skirt touched the
Yes.
floor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear, dear.
I didn't go to.
Vividly remember that.
Did you
I
see the stuff
vividly
somebody
remember
put
from a
on
junior high
Facebook
school experience. too.
about PE at North Bethesda at like 7th grade where you had to go through the showers?
Oh,
Oh my God.
and they'd hand you a little towel at the very end that was that big.
And they watched you.
Mortifying. They watched your, that's why they don't do that anymore.
I know. I know.
No, they just stink. None of them shower.
I know, I really miss my gym uniform, my gym, those blue things. with the-
Blue.
Yeah.
You had to embroider
Blue
your
one
name.
piece.
Yeah.
And you had to run through
You took it home once in 3 months to wash.
Well, actually, that's how I remember Dee Dee Dumont. she had the gym uniform with her name on it.
I did?
We were in
All of
gym
us did.
classes together.
I
Yes,
don't
we
even
were.
remember that.
Hi, that's so funny.
Huh.
Hmm.
That is weird. I don't even remember that. I remember the uniform, but I don't remember the name on it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we had
yeah.
our names on them. They were embroidered.
You got your mom to embroider it for you.
Yep, embroidered.
Oh, yeah, she did do that.
Yep.
She did my stuff.
My own. I didn't know your mom was supposed to.
That's the first time I ever heard the girls had run-through showers too. The boys I know did, but
Oh,
the,
my
That
God.
too.
The girls
Yeah,
did
It was
too.
awful.
Awful.
Yep.
It was
ladies, I'm
horrible.
sorry I missed that.
They did, and they handed you a towel at the end. You at least had to get wet.
Yeah, you did get wet. The boys had that, but I never imagined the girls had that.
Yeah, we did.
There was no soap involved though, at all.
Yeah.
You just had to run through
Ran.
the sprinkler things, yeah.
Ridiculous.
But I must admit, every time I go to a wedding reception, I appreciate that we had social dancing between,
Yeah.
what was it,
Oh,
Thanksgiving
and
and
gym.
Christmas?
Yeah, and the
And
winter,
by the time my next brother got there 4 years later, they had stopped that. But at least I know how to do some of those dances.
well, I like the square dancing. I thought the square dancing was fun.
Yeah, what about
And
Mrs.
that was
Hobson?
I loved it.
Fun.
Mrs. Hobson and the square dancing at Wingate.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
Miss
And
Thieber
what
at
about
Ashburn, there was
chicken
a lot
fat
of
at
square
Wingate?
dancing.
Do you remember doing chicken
I
fat?
remember the chicken fat record. I sure do.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Preston,
Yep.
go you chicken fat, go,
Chicken
yeah.
fat,
Oh,
go
you're
away.
Fat
Oh,
go.
get up
Mentioned
every
nobody-
morning.
Go, you chicken fat, go.
Go, you chicken fat.
Yeah.
On that note,
Oh, my God.
Nice memories, funny memories.
Thank
you, everybody.
all right.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
July or sometime
Let's
soon.
go.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank
Stay
you.
COVID free, everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Stay
Be
healthy.
well.
We'll see you again in a couple months.
Soon.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Negative.
Fun.
Bye all.
Bye.
Take care.